Hello artist friends. So today we are going to be making our cityscapes on our big paper. But before we do that, we need to talk about three important terms for you to know. And they are foreground, background, and overlapping. So let's look at an example of drawing a cityscape and what those words would look like in that picture, okay? So first of all, we have foreground. Foreground is that part of your picture that you want to look closest to you. So I think in this cityscape, I'm going to just draw some kind of hills in the front. I know it's a cityscape, but that's okay. We can still have some nature. Okay, so this is my foreground because that's the part I want to look like it's closest to me, okay? And then, let me add another little hill here. Okay. So that's my foreground. That's the part that's closest to me. I'm going to add in a little road that comes across the country and maybe another little hill behind it. So this is my road. Okay, this is my foreground. Then to add in my city, I want that to be in the background. So to add in my city, I need to add in some shapes. So for example, I could have rectangles, maybe tall rectangles like a skyscraper. Maybe a really wide building. But I'm trying to fill it in so there's no spaces in between. You could have a really tiny little building. But I just want to fill in all the way across because in a city, they pretty much use up every single little space. Okay. All right, so of course, in a little bit you will add details, but first, let's talk about how we can do that thing called overlapping, because that is going to give your picture more depth, okay, and make it look like it's kind of going back in space a little bit. So how do we do that? Well, let's look at our buildings here, right? That's just one row of buildings, and cities definitely have a lot more buildings behind each other. So one really easy way to do that is with overlapping. So let me show you one easy way to do that, okay? Let's say I want a building behind these two. I can start on one building, right at the top of it, and draw a line up, over, and down. So with a simple couple of lines and starting on this building and ending on the one next to it, up, over, down. Now it looks like that building is behind these two, right? Let's see if we can do that again. Maybe I have a building that starts on that one and comes over and down here, right? Now it looks like this one is behind that building. And I could just keep doing that, and I can make all kinds of shapes of buildings, whatever I want to do. But just by starting on top of one building and ending on another, see how I start getting another row of buildings. I can actually keep doing that if I want. What if I want more buildings behind these two? How would I do that? The same exact way. So I can start with this building and start at the top, draw a line up, over, and down on that building. So see how I'm overlapping, and the more I overlap, the more rows of buildings it looks like I have, okay? So with overlapping, the thing is you're starting with the buildings in front first and then adding the ones behind, okay? So those are our terms: foreground, background, overlapping, right? Foreground, the buildings are in the background because they're far away, and then we used overlapping to make some buildings look like they're in front of each other.